Because I can go with, he's taking violent hits back to back. I mean, we saw what happened with Tua last year when that happened, and he's still playing despite all that. So,
is Brock Purdy's recent play a sign of concern for the future of the 49ers? Logan.
This is a tough one. I'm gonna go ahead and say no. I mean, there's been a lot of championship level teams over the last decade that have had a 3-game down stretch during the season, and then they pick it back up. I expect Brock Purdy to come back and play well next week. I think Brock Purdy is the future of that franchise in terms of quarterbacking. I think that they are going to be in the Super Bowl this year. I would not be worried if you're a Niners fan. A lot of good quarterbacks have had a few bad stretches during their seasons. It's not that big of a deal. I expect Brock and the Niners to be a great team for the rest of the season.
I agree somewhat, but Sora.
Yeah,
What do you think? George Kittle?
Your teammate, Sora. Go ahead.
Give me the ball more. Yes and no, I can agree with both. I don't think they're fully in trouble. They'll still make it far in the playoffs. I think the main thing is Brock Purdy has been injured and nobody's, for whatever reason, doing anything about it. I mean, we've seen a couple of times this dude get hit hard in the head and like immediately have to grab his helmet. We've seen his neck violently snap back and forth. I mean, it looks like stuff that should be tested for concussion protocol, yet hasn't been.
Mm-hmm.
And it could just be like, to him it's just a normal hit. But yeah, these look like some violent hits. It's still football hits, but still, I mean, you got to check this man for concussion. For me, honestly, I'm saying no. It's nothing to be worried about now. After the bye week, which they have their bye week this week, if he still looks like this, then yes, I would be concerned. Because I can go with, he's taking violent hits back to back. I mean, we saw what happened with Tua last year when that happened. And he's still playing despite all that. So if you're a Niners fan, you're kind of hoping like, all right, after this bye week, let's get some things, set straight. Hopefully, Debo will be back. Williams will be back 100%. Look, again, Purdy looks injured. He just looks concussed, yet nobody's doing anything about it. So hopefully Purdy will be 100%. And then, you're just hoping that you can still steamroll and be the dominant team that you've been majority of the year.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at what Purdy's done up to this point, I mean, he's had 2 300-yard games. He's threw for the most yards against the Bengals this past week. He's coming off a 71% completion percentage in the previous week, a 70. I mean, his stats have looked lacking ever since Dallas, but people want to act like that this is not the Brock Purdy that beat Dallas either. So
that is true.
On the other side of that, he's had to rush for a ton of yards like the last 2 weeks too, which is totally abnormal for him. He had 57 rushing yards against Cincinnati. But people want to act like that the Bengals defense is like some pushover, especially when it comes to their front seven. I've been talking about Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard for a long time.
Don't forget about Logan Wilson.
Zach Wilson?
Yeah.
No, you're right, Logan Wilson. My bad, wrong Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that he's now looking like a human being. Yes.
He can bleed. We can kill him.
I mean, he still has 12 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, which is better than a lot of other quarterbacks that are playing right now. He's got more touchdowns than Trevor Lawrence, I'll tell you that. But I digress.
Dante had that stat ready, by the way. I just wanted to let that be known. He had that ready. So I can't wait to bring up Lawrence again.
Yeah, I mean, Travis Etienne overall has 2 touchdowns underneath him. So
my only question is, does Etienne have... Oh, wait, never mind. You just said Etienne. Never mind.
Yeah.
Also, let's not act like Shanahan isn't also a problem here, because I saw earlier today, and I've actually got it pulled up here, Kyle Shanahan is 1-31 when trailing by 3+ points entering the fourth quarter.
What?
He has only won 1 out of 32 games when trailing by only 3 points entering the fourth.
That's pretty nutty to think about.
Yeah, and that was that was before the Niners. That was the Falcons. This is also including the Super Bowl and all that stuff when he was with the Niners. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. Mossy says, I'd say it's a concern, yes, but it isn't that bad of a concern. Let him get the jitters out now. If this is the worst he's going to look all season, then it is what it is. I mean, they're on a 3-game losing streak after coming off of, what, a 5-game winning streak?
6 regular season last year, 2 in the playoffs. This is just under Purdy, so I'm not counting the NFC Championship game. Then,
so he was on a 9-game winning streak in the regular season.
5 or 4ish.
I mean, I think it's okay. I don't think that this is a huge cause for concern. If I'm, yeah, I mean, it comes down to coaching too. He was getting absolutely demolished back there and still trying to make something happen.
Yeah.
I mean, he only was sacked twice, but it looked like he was sacked more by the way that they were putting pressure on him. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, I mean, I agree with Mandy, too. He says people act like great players can't have bad games. He's a great player. I've seen a lot of people say, oh, he's a system quarterback. Okay, you do have a system quarterback on your team that's absolutely terrible. I mean, I gave him his flowers last year, but would you rather have Brock Purdy or Sam Darnold at this point?
Sam Darnold is about to be in the USFL, bro. What are we even talking about?
He did good like the last 3 or 4 games last year, though. I had to give it to him, but I think the starter Sam Darnold, that time has passed and gone, my friends.